I wish you all the best I can, but I stop myself for a while.
Welcome to the quarantine.
I'm saying things I don't believe. The panic's rising up in there. Why won't you tell me something new? I stop myself for a while.
Welcome to day 3 of the quarantine edition. The clapping made Barkley very upset. Barkley, nobody's here, dude. Hey. We are upstairs tonight. It's just a little bit easier not to have to switch all my gear around all the time. If I'm going to be doing this every day. I was doing it down in the basement, but I had to carry the computer back and forth and the camera on. So here we are. Welcome to upstairs. It also makes it easier for my pets to come visit us in the meantime. So there might be a visit from Oscar Hemingway Harwood Eads, my cat, or Barkley Jones, the dog, who affectionately goes by Barkley, barks broccoli on occasion. Anyway, so last we spoke, I was trying to file unemployment. I still haven't been able to. I keep getting kicked off, but I'm going to try again tonight. I spoke with my local state representative, Brian Turner's office, and he was very helpful. Gave me some information, just that the system was overwhelmed. They had tried to ramp it up before the announcement, but apparently it wasn't enough, clearly. And then that there was a glitch, that the federal system and the state system weren't talking to one another to validate our Social Security numbers. So that's why it kept coming back, that we weren't people, which we are. So I'm going to try that again tonight. I've had several friends have more success with it today, some not have much, but I think that I'll try it again. I'm going to try it like 2 in the morning if I'm still up. Otherwise, I'm going to get up early, like 5, and do it. But I'll probably be up at 2, so that's where that stands. More businesses have been shut. The governor has said that gyms, spas, cinemas, I can't remember. There was a list today that came out. They've all been closed by executive order. So a lot more of our brethren are out there on the streets without a job suddenly. And I know how it's working in my group of friends is we're all just asking each other questions, because none of us have. A couple of us have been down this path, but most of us haven't. And when we come to a place where we don't know what's happening, we just reach out and ask. And hopefully one of us has an answer. Not always, especially with the DES website, but it kind of feels good to know that you're not the only one who can't fill out their unemployment correctly, and it's not you. So to all my other industry brethren out there, I'm going to try the least busy times, and I think you guys should too. So I feel like at least 30% of the state has to be trying to do this right now. Well, there goes Barkley right now. So today I've reached out to my friends. I'm a little afraid. But I've reached out to my friends and asked them to all text me questions, whatever they want, serious, funny, and I would respond to them on this podcast, and I have not looked at them yet. I sent out the text, I think about an hour ago. I missed a few people and sent out a second text 30 minutes ago, and I'm sure I still miss people. However, I still love you all. But we're going to look at those, and I'm going to answer some questions, and I don't know what's coming. So just so everybody knows that. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to scroll to the top and start. I'll tell you what I said. I'm going to start a podcast in a bit. Text in with questions. They can be funny, serious, questions about me, trivia, odd facts, or anything else. I'm not going to look at this thread until I start the podcast, so they will be more spontaneously answered. Kind of wish I'd looked before now, but here we go. My friend Max asks, if you could be any type form of potato, what would you be? Well, I love potatoes in all their forms. Fried, sauteed, hash browns, potato chips, roasted potatoes, big french fries, little french fries. On my birthday, it's the only day of the year I do this, but on my birthday, I order french fries and mashed potatoes, and I dip my french fries in mashed potatoes. That's how much I love potatoes. So, I have to think about this a little bit, but not too much, because you know those purple potatoes, like with the purple skin on the outside that come in the bag? They're never individual potatoes. I would be those. I can't remember the name of them currently. Okinawa sweet potatoes, Japanese sweet potatoes. I believe they're that name. They're delicious. They're the best potatoes to me. You can saute them up real quick, like chop them up, saute them. Add a little onion, garlic. It's delicious. And I can't cook, and I can cook these. So, however, they always come in a bag. Like, they're not just loose and rolling about, you know, in the supermarket aisle or whatever. They're in a bag with their buddies, and they stick together wherever they go. Once they get to their destination, they may be cooked. Well, they're probably going to be all cooked together because, I mean, you're buying a bag of little potatoes. So, you know, ride or die? Yeah, that's it, sorry. Ride or die. They're the ride or die potatoes because they're always together. They even die together. They're probably born together in the same field. That's what kind of potato I'd be, Max. Thanks for the question. Okay, next. I don't know what this means, Emily. What are your thoughts on the innkeeper worm as a viable seafood choice in overfished waters? Well, I'm going to have to Google innkeeper worm, which is what this iPad here is set up for. Sorry, I'm a little close right now. So we're gonna Google. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat fish. So I am not as familiar with this as someone who probably buys a lot of fish or is concerned with this. Might be. I don't know. Okay, so it's, wow. I'm from Tennessee, so you'll have to apologize for my pronunciation ahead of time. Yerkias unicentuus is its name. No. Emily, it's a Chinese penis fish. Why would you do this to me? It's found off the coast of China and Korea and Japan. Why? Why, Emily? That's all I have to ask. You know that I do not want to eat penis fish. I don't know. I mean, it's a horrible name. One, you're going to have to rename it. If it's going to be something that... I don't even know what it is. But if it's going to be something that we can replace other fish with here in the United States, like, say, snapper or trout, flounder. I mean, there's a zillion different types of fish. Can we please not have its name be penis fish? Because I think that would be the most... I mean, it could be this thing that makes fishing sustainable, and the name of it would make people most people not want to eat it. And I am one of those penis. There's this article right now that says thousands of 10-inch penis fish washed up on a California beach. This is from December 13th, 2019, before we were overrun with COVID-19. Oh, wow. Those are not pretty. The post says, this may be the weirdest thing you've seen today. Thousands of these marine worms, called fat innkeeper worms, or penis fish, washed up on Drake's Beach after a recent storm. Drake's Beach is somewhere in California. And the 10-inch blobs caught floating across the California beach is going to make me not want to read anything more about them. So, I know you knew where that was going to lead, and I'm very upset with you. We're going to the next question. Emily, -1 point. Sarah asks, which says, you've had a lot of dumb injuries, Holly. Please fill us in on your funniest injury. Well, I've hurt myself in a lot of really dumb ways. I think off the top of my head, I think I have 3 that are tied for top dumb injury. And I'm going to do them in chronological order because that's the best way I can think of them. And I don't remember my exact age. When I was younger, my dad used to come up with all these. My brother and I love sports. My sister did too, but she didn't play as much. And she was 3 years older than us. But my dad would come up with he coached all our teams, and he would come up with all these crazy drills to improve a skill of some sort. And one he came up with was he was going to underhand toss us basketballs, and we were going to swing at them with a baseball bat like we were hitting a baseball, and it was going to improve our wrist strength for later. And he told us, he was like, don't hit it hard. He said it like 28 times. Don't hit it hard. Just swing through it soft and gentle. And the first few I did that. They like dribbled down the yard. And my brother's standing out by the fence, and he starts heckling me. He's 3 years younger. He was probably like 8 or 9, and I was 11 or 12. And he starts...
Okay, I found this on the web.
Siri, shut up. And he starts heckling me from, we'll call it the outfield. You can't hit it over the fence. I know you can't. And I was like, yes, I can. Dad said not to swing hard, though. And he's like, whatever. You can't hit it over the fence. This is how I remember our conversation. So I was like, okay, fine. So Dad slow pitches the basketball to me, and I swing as hard as I possibly can with every ounce that I have in me, because I'm going to hit this thing over the fence. Bat hits the ball. Ball goes one way, bat immediately goes another way. And not the way that you would think. Not the way where you swing and it goes through. No, I hit the ball, and the bat immediately bounced down from the way I'd hit the ball at the angle. And I smashed my own calf with an aluminum baseball bat, swinging as hard as I could. So I start jumping. I grab my calf, the front of my, what's the front? Your shin. I grab my shin, and I start jumping around on one leg, and my brother's like rolling in the grass laughing. My dad's laughing really hard. I was kind of laughing, but it hurt really bad. And I pull my hands away, and blood just goes whoosh. And my dad just starts going, I didn't mean to laugh at you. I didn't know you were really hurt. I'm sorry. I did not mean to laugh at you. And I had to go to the hospital. I had to go to the emergency room, got stitches. The funniest part is my dad had to call my mom at work. And my dad was like, so I might have to take Holly to the emergency room. And my mom was like, either you do or you don't, Bill. Which is it? And of course he did. I had to get stitches. She met us up there. I mean, it wasn't in bad shape, but it did hurt pretty bad. And it was a pretty big cut. I still have a scar from it today. Second, I had come home from college. I was 19. 19? 19? I don't remember. I was 19, I believe. And we'd had some really bad straight line storms come through Kingsport, which is without a lack of a better thing, it's like a tornado, but it doesn't spin. It's just a line of really strong, fast-moving winds that come through. They're like 200 miles an hour. And we were having another bad line of cells come through. And my dad had left his mowing shoes out on the fence. Well, our dog at the time, Buffett, anytime you opened the back door, she was terrified of storms. She would come running in real quick. And she did that. It had taken me like 30 minutes to get her out. Finally got her out, jumped the 6-foot fence in the backyard. No problem. Came back in the front door. And then I remembered, I was like, I forgot Dad's shoes. I need to go back out and get them. I know he really likes those shoes. So I go back out, and I'm running. I'm going to jump off the front porch because I didn't want to go out the back because I knew Buffett would get back in. I slip on the front porch, break my ankle. Then I fall off the porch. And I'm rolling around the yard. My mom comes running out. It's raining. And I just remember her being like, maybe it's not broke. Maybe it's not broke. And I was just like, oh, it's broke. It's something bad. So that was how I broke my ankle. And then maybe the stupidest. I don't know. Maybe the stupidest was, it's past April. We were at Duke. My dad was there on a medical checkup, and I was going to pass some time by doing a room tour video and recording it. And it was me, my brother, and sister sharing a hotel room. So it had like a little room with 2 beds and a pull-out couch. And I'd set the camera up in the room with the 2 beds. And I was going to run and jump and try to like act like I was like land it with like Lionel Richie style. Like in that pose from his iconic album where he's just sitting there like hand holding his face up. And that's how I was going to land. So I ran as fast as I could, as far as I could get from the bed. Jumped as high as I could because I wanted it to look good. And I came down with my face right on my wrist, and my elbow hits the bed and stops before my face hits my wrist. And you all know, an object at rest tends to stay at rest, while one in motion tends to stay in motion. And on that video, you can hear my wrist pop and break. But, yeah, so that's the last one. I have hurt myself a lot of stupid ways. All right. That was a long answer, but that's what it is. All right. Melissa asks, what is your favorite place you've traveled to? Man, I don't know if I can answer that. I have so many that I've traveled to that I've absolutely loved. Man, that is a hard one. Bahia Honda State Park in the Keys, which was decimated by Hurricane Irma, I believe. Actually had a old school friend back from high school, Robert Farthing, who works down in the Keys now. I'm friends with him on Facebook. We don't really talk, but he'd posted some pictures that not that long ago of they were starting the restoration of it, and he was helping or doing a lot of it, I guess. Man, I love that place. It's gorgeous. And you could camp right on the beach. They had 2 different camps. And the water, you could rent kayaks, and it was so close to Key West, you could just drive down to Key West. It's also very close to Deer Key, which was always they're like mini deers, and you had to slow down to like 30 miles an hour while you're driving through there. I love that place, though. It's beautiful. And you feel like you're not in the U.S. anymore, honestly, when you're there. I love that place. There's so many, like, we took a trip out west, my ex and I did. We drove down the Pacific Coast Highway from L.A. from L.A. to San Francisco. And overall, that may be one of the most beautiful areas I've been to, just on a drive, like a scenic drive. I know there's hell, Craggy Gardens, like Craggy Pinnacle is one of the most beautiful places, and I live like a 45-minute drive from it, and it is breathtaking almost every time I go to it. Pisgah's the same way. We're fortunate to live in an area where we have a less than a day's drive, less than 2 hours drive of just some absolutely stunning landscapes. In Great Smokies National Park, I mean, so much. I'm going to say Bahia Honda State Park. If I had to choose one right now off the top of my head. I also love Vegas. I won't lie. I love to gamble, and it is a weird oasis in the middle of a desert that probably shouldn't be there. Well, we all know it shouldn't be there, but doesn't mean I don't like to go visit. Hannah, no, I can't read yours. You're right. Matt, I can't read yours either. Megan, I agree when you say you all are gross. What's the weird? So this question is, what's the weirdest thing you've ever wiped with? And just so you know, I worked as a wilderness instructor for a year, and leaves. What are the rhododendron were the worst. Like when you're in the middle of a rhodo bush and you got nothing else, and you have to use one of those really waxy leaves. They don't work very well, so you should just air dry at that point. Oak leaves are good. Poplar leaves are good, especially the big ones. I know you didn't think this is where that question was going, but it is. I have a strict two square toilet paper rule unless things are getting messy. Okay, next. Y'all are stupid. Who is your celebrity crush? The rest of her question I don't think I can read on air, but I might after. Celebrity crush. I mean, Pink. She's amazing. She's an excellent singer. She seems committed to her family, which I know I would never get to be with Pink, but that is also always like when you can commit to someone, and she could go out any moment she wanted, have whatever she wanted, and I'm sure he could too. But when you're that committed to your family, you can work through your hardships in a very public arena. I think that's a special quality in a person. Who else? I always like Nev Campbell. That's like my old school celebrity crush. I'm going to have to think about this when I'll come back to it. So that's what's the worst thing that has happened personally to your ass. And that would be falling down those metal steps at the corner kitchen out back. You know what I'm talking about if you work at the CK, and you've probably fallen down them yourself. I thought it was broke. It wasn't. What are 5 things you would do if it were your last day on Earth? They asked some very rude follow-up questions that I can't say on here. Other than Megan's was other than wipe your ass with mashed potatoes or whatever. 5 things if it was my last day. Well, hell, we might all be approaching that day. My 5 things would be, man, I don't want to get sad on you guys. I'd hug my mom, hug my family. Well, I'd want to hug all my friends one last time, tell them I loved them. Outside of that would be more than 5 things. So, 3 of them would have to be taken up with my family. We'd have to have a really big group hug, I suppose. Outside of that, I would want to go out for lunch and have a piece of pizza and a beer. I want to... Well, see, all these things could be possible at once, because I'd like to swim the ocean, but I don't know if I'd be able. It depends. Okay, so I'm just going to act like I can do all the things I want to do. So eat a pizza, go out for lunch, have a piece of pizza and a beer. Swim in the ocean. Hug all my friends and family. I'm going to count that as one, even though it's multiples. I don't know. I would enjoy a sunset. I love sunsets. I would probably take a time lapse of it as I was watching it. And have a dance party in my living room. I can't think of, like, I mean, I would like to say I would cure cancer, I would end hunger, but I can't do any of those things. And if it was my last day, I would want to do those things because I'm going to be selfish on that day. So, those are the things. I love you all, and I'll give you a hug after this virus has passed. Heva says y'all nasty, and they are. I agree with Heva wholeheartedly. But her question is, if you could come out on the other side of this strange time with something changed about yourself or your life, what would it be? I think I need rules for this question. But I'm going to go from the point of my life was 1 week ago till... Man, I have a pretty good life, like, all in all. I have good friends that love me. I have a family that loves me. I'll come back to this one. Heba always trying to make me cry. Sarah, do you believe in reincarnation? Well, yes, I do. I don't talk about my religion very much, but yes, I'm a Buddhist and we believe in reincarnation. Actually, in my pocket, I have this little devotional. It's called Heart of a Buddha. And I carry it around with me because when I get really sad or upset, I like to open it up and turn to a page. And whatever page that is, I like to think on that. Some would call it meditate. I'm not good at meditating. I move and fidget too much. But I like to think on it and let my day, at least a bit of my day, process around that thought, especially when I'm getting anxious or sad or, whatever. So I'll just flip open. This one actually had a bookmark at this place, but I think it's a good one. I got lots of bookmarks in here. And our interactions with others, gentleness, kindness, and respect are the source of harmony. I just read something like that and then try to focus your inner energy on that and kind of go with it. But yeah, I believe in reincarnation. I think that we're all here. I truly believe we all have a life lesson that we're supposed to be here and we're supposed to learn. And we're not told that lesson. And that's the hardest part of trying to figure out what it is and learn the lesson to that question, because you're also not guaranteed an answer when you figure out the question. I believe there's people that walk amongst us who have reached a higher plane already and are waiting to make that final bound. I think Riley was one. You sacrifice yourself for a room full of people you don't even know that well. Every religious text talks about giving up your life for those you love, the people around you. And he did it without a second's thought. Anyway, so yes, I do believe in reincarnation, and I hope I'm not that far from the end of my cycle where I can go live peacefully in the universe and not have to deal with stuff like this. All right. Josh says, I guess we could talk about how random your friends are. They are, and I love them. Jefferson asked, "What's my podcast going to be called?" And this one's called "The Occasional Daily Quarantine Edition." So there's that. That's all the questions I have for my friends right now. Oh, wait a minute. I was going to go back and answer Heba's. Sorry. What would I change about myself or the situation if yourself or your life? What would it be? I think honestly, the only thing I would change is I would want to be making money off doing this kind of stuff. Like, I've been doing it for about 2 years now and, well, not making any money. That's why I have another job. I love the people I work with and the company I work for, actually. But I think that would be it. I think sports be back. I'm pretty okay with the person I am at this point in my life, I think. At least that's how I feel right today at this moment. I think that's it. So, speaking of the company I work for, they just emailed us today. We're going to give you guys some food tomorrow. Come by and get it. That's part of the reason I love working for them. They truly want to take care of the people that they work with and they employ. My last employer was not that way. And it wasn't a happy place to work. Not saying that my job's always happy and go lucky, but we have a pretty good time together. Yeah. Man, that got off on a little bit of a sad note. Apologize for that, but whenever I think about what Riley did, it's kind of it's especially when I'm not thinking about it. You know what I mean? So, other things that have happened today on day 3 of quarantine. Day 2, we don't have a video for. I went downtown and took a bunch of photos. I kept my social distance. I didn't go in anywhere. I just took pictures of a bunch of clothes on and then the painting of the nun outside Elizabeth. And now I'm all stopped up because I cried. I apologize, but it's just how it goes. And I spent most of the day doing the intro for the first one, so that's why day 2 was skipped. What else? Oh, I set up a basketball court right here. I miss sports a lot. You always think, if I'm going to be stuck at home, at least I can watch, March Madness. Should be in full swing right now. I mean, it is absolutely crazy that I agree that they should have canceled March Madness. I absolutely do, but it is crazy that hockey, basketball, soccer, baseball is postponed. I actually got an email from the tourist today. Did you know that Cal Ripken Jr. was once a bat boy for the Asheville Tourist? So was Thomas Wolfe. Neither of these two facts did I know, and I feel like I know a lot of facts about baseball, and especially the Asheville Tourist because they're my hometown team. We're going to finish on a note about our state senators tonight, though. Richard Burr. You should be outright ashamed of yourself. If everything they're saying is true, and I don't doubt it is, you told a meeting of wealthy people who could afford to be there, not just the general public. You're the head of the intelligence agency, and I'll say this, you've been trying to prepare us for a pandemic. However, I'm just going to get political for a minute. You have let the federal government purge our pandemic team. You knew all this. You knew all of these things. You told a private meeting of people the end of February. Business people, that they should stop traveling to Europe. That this was way worse and it was going to spread way worse than we thought it was. That schools were going to have to go through a period where they're closed and we were going to have to take emergency measures. This was in February, end of February. Then you came out and reassured the public that everything was good. The government knew what it was doing. The government had never been more ready to deal with this kind of situation than we ever had. And then you went and sold all your stocks. And normally when you sell stocks, you buy stocks. You only sold stocks. If Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading, then you, sir, you should go to jail for that with an extended sentence because you did this on the backs of every American out there. Republican, Democrat, Independent. It doesn't matter. And this time, where we're all told we're supposed to be shut up in our homes and not do anything, and we've lost our jobs. And you're making sure you make a dime off of this, or don't lose a dime. Either way, it's still wrong. That is gross negligence to me. You've let down everyone. And right now, we shouldn't be Republicans, we shouldn't be Democrats, we shouldn't be independents. We should just be Americans, global citizens, trying to do our best that we can to mitigate this situation and not collapse our economy. You should be ashamed of yourself. There is no explanation you could offer that would make this right. And you're from my state. You're from North Carolina. And all my friends, we all think you're going to get off. Might get a slap on the wrist. You should go to jail. Jail. You should spend more time than Martha Stewart spent in jail. While we're on that, Buncombe County has been just overrun with fraud. And that's all the money that Wanda Green stole could be in our coffers right now to help us get through this, to help support the restaurant industry, to help support all of us out there right now going through this horrible time, uncertain about our future. And you all have been stealing from us. Wanda's in jail, about to be followed by a few of her colleagues that helped her in this. You should be next. It makes me sick. Fraud by elected officials is one of the few things that makes me irrationally angry. We put our trust in you and we put our faith in you. And no matter whether we voted for you or not, we still put those things in you. And you should do better by us. Well, that was 44 minutes, Asheville. Me getting a little angry, a little funny, a little sad. Stay safe out there. Good night.
Then I stop myself for a while.